Welcome to our show, Feel Good Food.
Where we make snacks, treats,
and meals
that taste good,
but also make you feel good.
Today we are making a peanut butter panna cotta with a strawberry compote.
This is an ode to the ever so classic peanut butter and jelly sandwich. This recipe is super fun. We really wanted to make a panna cotta. Like, this panna cotta recipe has gone through iterations, and it actually started as a vanilla panna cotta with a winter citrus compote. But then we realized there's a recipe in Gelatin, which is a great restaurant in LA, in their cookbook that's pretty much that exact same thing. So we're like, okay, we can't do that. And then one day it just like dawned on me.
I think it dawned on me, actually.
No.
And I said, what
it
if
dawned
we
on one of us.
to do a peanut butter panna cotta, and then you're like, why don't we do jelly and make like classic peanut butter jelly?
Yeah.
And then secret element last is the breadcrumbs, which really brings it all together as a sandwich.
That was also a contentious element as well, because I strongly felt they should be bacon crumbs. We tested both versions. Max wasn't necessarily against the bacon crumbs, but you just didn't think they added much. And then I asked my Instagram audience, I was like, what do y'all think? And everyone sided with Max, which that's on the patriarchy. Okay. Anyway, let's get into it.
The first thing we're gonna do is make the strawberry compote. It's a rather simple jam. You just need strawberries, sugar, lemon, and a splash of water.
Compote and jam are kind of interchangeable. If we wanted to make a strawberry jelly, we'd have to add pectin, which is, it's found in the plant cell walls, and it's like a binding agent. That's what makes jelly like stiff and gelatinous. So yeah, we're gonna add these to this pan, and it's super simple. It's literally just sugar, lemon. We're gonna add a little lemon zest, and obviously these gorgeous, gorgeous strawberries.
I would recommend you cut them down a little bit just so it goes a little faster. I mean, you can leave them whole, but it might take 2 or 3 times as long. Whereas when you cut them up, you know, it kind of speeds up that breakdown process by at least 10 or 15 minutes.
I'm just gonna add this sugar, adding a little bit of water as well. There's something about that combination of strawberry, sugar, and lemon zest specifically that's so like appealing to the eye, appealing to the nose.
It reminds me of strawberry lemonade.
Yeah.
And I love strawberry lemonade. Gotta get this on. And this should take about 15 to 20 minutes on like a low medium heat. And slowly just give it a stir every now and then. It'll break down the strawberries and it'll kind of just infuse all of those flavors and get that jam or compote really solidified.
I'm just gonna make sure that zest is a little more incorporated. You kind of just let this rock for quite a while, and then you can get started on the panna cotta.
And this kind of method works with any berry. You can do this with blueberries, raspberries, blackberries to make a compote. All the same ingredients, but just different berry.
That is good. Should we move on to the panna cotta?
Let's do it.
Let me take a quick moment to bring you a note from our partner, Pronamel. I'm training for the London Marathon this year. That means trying a lot of new things and discovering new ways to take care of myself. While that often looks like a lot of running and a lot of strength training, there are so many other really important ways I need to take care of my body. Everyone knows how much I love food and how it keeps me fueled, but it can also take a toll on the health of my teeth. With Pronamel Clinical Enamel Strength, I don't have to choose between keeping my body strong or keeping my teeth strong. This toothpaste offers 40% greater whitening action for my teeth and 3 times stronger enamel protection. And since enamel is what protects my teeth from sugar and acidity in all the foods I eat, my enamel needs all the help it can get. With Pronamel, I can keep fueling my body the way I want without sacrificing the health of my teeth. And plus, Max keeps complimenting me on how bright my smile's been lately. Find Pronamel Clinical Enamel Strength online or at your local retailer, and learn more at pronamel.us.
Now we are making the panna cotta mixture. This involves milk.
Do you like panna cotta? Like, what's your favorite dessert?
I love puddings. I love mushy things. I really do. And panna cotta is like, this is cream, by the way. I can say with confidence that I do love panna cotta. I'm just gonna give this a little bit of a mix to incorporate the milk and the cream. I'm gonna turn this on a low.
Just gonna dump the sugar in, let that dissolve, and add the peanut butter as well.
This needs to be a smooth peanut butter, but like it, as in, you know how some peanut butter has full or parts of the nut still in it, which actually, when I'm having a PB J, I do like the crunchy peanut butter, but panna cotta batter, if you will, needs to be smooth.
Because we're gonna pass it, and if you were to use chunky peanut butter, you'd just lose all those peanuts once we went for the pass. But if it's all you have, it will work, you know. It's like, you can use it. But when you're first mixing this, it's gonna look separated and it might not look super appealing, but once it gets warm, it will start to congeal a little bit and get a little bit thicker and really start to like come together. I am going to bloom the gelatin, which is a powdered gelatin. You can also get sheet gelatin, but in this recipe we use powdered gelatin. And we're just gonna bloom that in some cold water. I'm just gonna pour this gelatin into here and give it just a slight mix. And what we're looking for is for this to turn into a bit of a puck after about 2 or 3 minutes.
It is always amazing to me how quickly gelatin works.
And it's amazing that we'll take this from a liquid into like a solid panna cotta, this like rubbery, but really delicate, beautiful dessert. So you can see here, this is already kind of solidifying into more of a thicker liquid.
To answer your question about what my favorite desserts are, and I'm surprised you don't know this, cakes. I love cake. I will choose cake over like ice cream.
Chocolate, ice cream, cookies.
I mean, I will eat any desserts. I do have a sweet tooth. I'm surprised this is the first dessert we're doing on Feel Good Food because
we do love dessert as a couple.
We indulge. We have dessert every night.
Every night. We're trying to be better in the last month.
I'm just gonna add a little salt to this mixture. Just like your savory dishes, you always wanna season your desserts.
Lydia loves a salty dessert.
I do.
Yeah.
That amount of salt, it's not even like it's gonna make your panna cotta salty. It's literally to enhance the flavors that are already there. I personally do like the amount of salt where you can actually taste saltiness in your dessert, but I think even if you're not a salty dessert person, adding a pinch is important.
Yeah, I think we want to get this a little bit hotter. I don't know if you want to turn up the heat just slightly before. It shouldn't start to necessarily boil, but you want it to just about boil. Then you can turn the heat off and continue whisking and then add in your gelatin. Just started to simmer slightly. Once it hits a simmer, it's going to thicken. I don't know, there's some reaction with the peanut butter, but it automatically starts to thicken before we add any gelatin. At this point, the heat is off.
And look at this. The gelatin has formed into a puck.
But then you want to make sure you beat that up a little bit in here and mix it so it incorporates fully into this mixture. Now we're just going to pour this through to catch any chunks that might be in there and make it super silky. I'm just going to pour this through the sieve that Lydia is holding.
Looks like that gelatin really did fully dissolve because sometimes in the past, don't be alarmed if you pour this and the sieve catches a chunk of the gelatin that didn't fully incorporate. That's totally fine, but you did a nice job whisking.
Thank you.
Now we're gonna portion our panna cotta into these single serving ramekins that are very cute. This is a great party dessert because it's already pre-portioned, so you can literally make this the day before, and then when your guests are ready for dessert, you can just bring them out and put them on the table. A little bit of olive oil, which actually adds a kind of a nice flavor into the ramekin. I'm gonna fill these all the way to the part where the lip of the ramekin begins.
And then you'll want to set these for about 3 to 6 hours, and then they'll last in the fridge for a few days. But they should set up rather quickly. It depends how thick you make them. If they're very thin, they'll set up in about 2 hours. But if you fill them up like this, it's going to take a little bit longer, but it's kind of a dessert you make in the morning and then they're ready for you later in the day. It smells so good.
The peanut butter is strong.
Jam is going, it's getting there.
I don't think we seasoned the jam yet, so let's add a little bit of salt.
Yeah.
Again, this is not so that the jam tastes salty, but just to bring out that natural, wonderful flavor of the strawberries, the lemon, the balancing of the sugar.
It's getting there. It probably needs like 5 or 6 more minutes.
Yeah, it needs to, you want it to be
thick,
and this is still quite thin. The compote is kind of a perfect texture right now. It's syrupy. This is about as thick as it's gonna get, unless, like I said, you add pectin, which we're not going to do. So I'm just gonna transfer this to a heat-safe bowl. It will thicken up even more as it cools down. And if you put it in the fridge and kept it overnight, you would see that it gets quite thick, like a proper jam.
You're gonna want it to cool just a little bit before you top off your panna cotta.
I just had a great idea.
Uh-oh.
If you're making a matcha at home, this could be like the bottom of a matcha, a nice matcha latte. Ideas. Let's let that cool. When you first take your ramekins out of the fridge, the olive oil that you're using as like the lubricant second, it's gonna be solidified because it's cold. So it's not really going to help you so much when you're trying to extract the panna cotta. So you kind of want to warm it up until you see that oil look more like an oil instead of
coagulated.
Yeah. We took ours out a couple minutes ago. You know, the oil doesn't take much time to heat up and start looking like olive oil again. Hopefully these will be pretty easy to get out. This is a mini offset spatula, which is one of my favorite kitchen utensils. If you are into cakes, like I have previously said, I am into cakes. It's just a great dessert tool.
Let's see. I'm gonna have to give it a little shake and it should hopefully pop right out.
Whoa, you got a good one. Okay, pressure's on. Give it a little love tap. I'm competitive, so.
Oh, there you go. Voila.
I'm really happy about that extraction.
Yeah, these are good.
These are so freaking cute. And this is kind of like all you need with dessert. Actually, I'm not here to tell anyone what portions they need, but to me, perfect bite. It is time to do the finishing touches of our panna cotta. I'm gonna put this beautiful jam that's now cooled to, it's warm, but it's closer to room temperature. And I'm just gonna do a generous kind of, that's more than a dollop. What would you call that, Max?
A plop.
A plop, yeah. A generous plop on top.
Beautiful. So these are some toasted breadcrumbs.
Specifically panko crumbs. So, you know, toasted breadcrumbs, toasted panko crumbs, whatever you kind of have handy. Of course, we need some Malden, because what is a dessert without Malden? And then some beautiful edible flowers for presentation. That looks so beautiful.
Right.
Time to eat?
Time to eat.
All right, we're in stark disagreement about what kind of spoon this dessert should be eaten with.
Well, I'm more of an all dessert small spoon kind of person.
Normally, I also love a small spoon. There's something deeply satisfying about it, but for this, because I want to get a little bit of everything, I'm playing it safe with the big spoon. This is like kind of a big kahuna, but I'm ready to go.
That's like 2 tablespoons. This is so good. It really does like taste just like a classic peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for some more breadcrumbs.
It's nostalgic, but modern. It's everything you would want in a dessert.
It's exactly everything you'd want in dessert. It really does bring you back to childhood.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Feel Good Food. You can find this recipe at food52.com.
And we'll see you next time.